and step back. And then you get the next one. You say, okay, step forward, get your second piece of food. And he gets his food, and as soon as that other food is done and you're past the door locks. So what we're going to have to do is have a two-man thing if we can have two guys do it. So one guy is in charge of the gate, one guy is giving out the food. You know what I mean? For safety purposes. Okay?
All right. Then I have one more question.
Sure.
When are we going to read the prison rules to the prisoners? And where?
Okay, that's when they first come into the jail. When they first
come into
the jail, when they're in the holding tank. We're in their holding tank. We've given them their clothes. We've given them their food, their initial food. We read them the rules. We tell them when visitation is, when their next meal is going to be. We tell them to always follow the directions of the COs, the DOC personnel. No fighting. And I believe if they fight, we tell them what'll have that they're going to be taken. What does it say there, settlement for that? For the rules.
Sorry, what's that?
What are the rules?
For the prison.
For fighting.
Yeah.
That they will go to solitary.
They're going to go into solitary. Okay.
Or like the amount that the officer thinks is necessary to teach them a lesson.
Exactly. So what happens now when they go to discipline, okay, is you decide to put them in discipline. They go for an hour, and you go back and you talk to them. And if they're like, F you, cop, I'm not going to do anything you say. Shut the door, give them another hour, okay? Okay, you go back again, and they still have their attitude, okay? Shut the door, go back in another hour. So now you're at 3 hours. Now you want to get a sergeant involved and tell the sergeant to go talk to the inmate. So the sergeant can decide, after 3 hours that he's been in there, the sergeant can decide whether or not he's going to do more time in there or not. Okay, he's going to talk to the officer that put him in there initially, and he's going to talk to the inmate. So he's doing an attitude check with the inmate and asking the inmate questions. See if he's going to admit to what he did wrong. So talk to the officer and get the story of what's going on, and then compare the two. Compare that story to what the inmate says. So for me, if the inmate has calmed down and he's not acting like a complete idiot and yelling and screaming like a moron, then we're going to go ahead and move him back to his cell. Probably out of solitary, move him to his cell, making sure there's nobody to his left and right, and trying to give him a chance. Put him in his regular cell, leave him in there for a while, give him to cool down a little bit more to make sure that he's not going to be doing anything violent to anybody when he comes out of his cell. Yes?
What about feeding for solitary?
Feeding for solitary, you tell him, inmate, we're going to open the door, give you the food, go to the back of your cell, face your wall, put your hands in the back of your head. And if you open the door and he doesn't have his hands in the back of his head, close the door.
All right.
Tell him. Okay, and then go to the next guy and feed those next guys, and then go back to him. Okay, and give him a chance to do that.
Okay.
Give him a chance to fix it. Don't cuss at him. Remain professional. Remember that.
Yep.
What we do on the server, we're going to end up on YouTube. I want this to be the very best, most professionally run jail system.
Oh, agreed.
Okay?
It sounds like it's going to be good.
And when you guys come in and from patrol, take pride in what you're doing when you're at the DOC. Okay, because again, you guys are patrol deputies, but you guys come work the DOC, do your job the same way you'd want to do it. The same way you would want a guy coming from DOC to go work on patrol, right?
Yeah.
Do everything the right way. You're in the public's eye. You're in the public eye when you're on patrol more than you are in the DOC. But you understand that there's a lot of people that are in the DOC as inmates. They're going to be probably streaming or putting what you do up on YouTube. Okay. A lot of things that people do, civilians, is they try to get the cops pissed off. They try to get the cops to do stupid stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Get mad and start cussing at somebody, or like straight up refuse to give an inmate food if he asks for it. Don't do that. I mean, their punishment handed down is them being here, not what you're going to do to them. because they got arrested, okay? You guys all understand that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
Their punishment is them being here. They've lost their freedom. They can't get up and leave when they want to. They have to go in their cell. They got to do everything you tell them to do. Okay, so simply just give them an instruction and give them time to do it. If they don't do it, give them another instruction and what you're going to do. If they don't do it, like, sit down. I don't want to sit down. You sit down, or I'm going to make you sit down. You can do it on your own, or I'll arrange for it. That's being professional. It's not being threatened.
It's asserting your power.
Exactly. Sit down, or I'm going to arrange for you to sit down. And what I mean by that is I'm going to get a taser out, because that's the only thing I can do. I don't want to walk up to you and hit you on the head. I don't want to do that. I'd rather you just sit down and do what I tell you to do. It's much simpler. Because the very second that an inmate acts up, they bring negative attention to themselves. And when they disrupt the flow of how everything is going, that's when, because it throws everything off, because you have a time schedule of when you have to do this stuff. So we feed these guys on the hour, and then we come back a half hour later to feed them more food, but then somebody wants to act like a knucklehead. We simply get 2 guys to go over there, deal with the knucklehead, and we continue to give these guys food. Okay, we do not veer off from we stand the course, right?
Stay the schedule.
We stay the schedule. We stay the schedule. We don't let the people that come in here and try to be disruptive. We don't let them achieve that. Okay. If we have enough people, you're going to walk around. You're always going to work in twos when you guys do the chow. Okay. One guy will work the gates. One guy will give them the food. If we can hand them the food through the gates, then we only need one guy to go do the food, right? Okay.
Right.
If we can have an inmate worker, we'll have the inmate worker bring the food and have the inmate worker hand them the food, right? While we're washing them. Yes.
If we do end up getting the thing working so we can slip the food through the bars, it would be wise to still have another guy hanging at the back near the main.
Always going to have a guy. Yeah, your mic's cutting out really bad. Yeah.
Mine?
Your mic is cutting out really bad.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, if we have enough people, we're going to have the prowler in there with the housing officer, the guy that's working on the floor in the module area. We're going to have him working with the prowler doing the food. Try to have an overwatch guy. Try to do that. You don't want to open a cell. If there's 2 guys in the cell, try to have 2 people with you. Have another person with you. So someone can always, if we do the food through the bars, and you feel like you need to have, just in case the food won't go through the bar, and you have to open a cell, it's good to have a second guy there. Okay. If we have it to where we're going to walk these guys to the chow hall, if there's a chow hall there,
I was just about to ask that. Yeah.
Yeah, if we have, let's say we have these guys come out, everybody comes out to the day room, and we give them food, and they stand around, if they could sit out at the spider tables and eat their food, we can do that. And that way we'd have somebody up on the bridge with a taser out, because we'd have people out, out in the open, and we'd have like an open dorm setting, like a recreation type kind of thing within indoors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, rec room, indoor rec.
Warden?
Yeah.
I was just I'm wondering with this whole food thing, because if we have anything like the weight system from prior on the island, are we gonna be responsible for going out buying all this food with our own, all of our stuff coming here and then trying to feed these people, or is it
like a chow cart?
What we're gonna do is we're gonna role play a delivery truck. We're gonna call McFisher's every day. We're gonna say, hey, we want to order up 16 fish burgers, and they're gonna put them in the truck, and they're gonna bring them to us, and then we'll have a couple deputies go out, and we'll get the food off of there. The driver will only step out of the truck to open his door and then get back. We're gonna pay him, and then he's gonna get back in his truck. And that's it. He's not going to have any contact with any inmates. That is the utmost importance when delivery guys show up. that I don't even want them putting eyes on inmates, okay? I don't even want them being within earshot of inmates talking to them, okay? Because you never know what's going on. You never know
So
what
that
these
means
guys are
no
up to.
deliveries at your times.
No,
Question.
yeah. We don't have deliveries when the inmates are out in the yard. We don't have deliveries. When these guys, let's say we take them out to the yard and we put them in because we're going to give them chow. We call McFishers and we tell them, hey, we need 14 burgers and we need them in as soon as possible. They make them, they load them up, and they bring them over. Okay.
Question.
Yeah.
We're going to be searching the truck through and through before we let through the main gate, correct?
Yeah, we're going to open up the back door and make sure that there's nobody in there with a gun before they come in the gate.
That's what I mean before we let them in the compound, because you never know. McFishers isn't a organization, right? You know.
Right. We don't know who's working there. They're not vetted. So what we're going to do is have a guy inside operating the gate and have a guy outside the gate, maybe a patrol officer, come over and check the guy before we even open the gate for him. He's going to have him open the back door and check the truck, and we'll make sure he knows what we're expecting to get. And he checks the truck, and what we're expecting is in the truck. Then the guy can come on in.
Yeah. All right.
And once he's been inspected, he doesn't have. We can pay him. He steps out of the truck. We pay him. He gets back in his truck after he opens the door to the truck, and then we get the stuff out, and that guy leaves right away.
It's going to be up to the guy to crunch the numbers for how much we owe him, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to have the amount of money needed before the guy even comes over.
Okay.
I tell him 14 burgers. He gives me a price, and I make sure that somebody that's at the gate can pay him right away. All right.
Alrighty.
All right. So it's been a good training. I think you guys were showing up.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't.
Thanks to guys and all the guys who helped put the server up.
Yeah, thank you guys. If you're still here.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't get in. I have no idea what's going on with my Arma. I'm probably going to reinstall it because I don't even have any mission files whatsoever.
Who's that?
This is Bella.
Oh, Bella. Okay. All right.
Have you,
I've heard the meeting twice now, though, so...
Okay. All right. Okay. Until the next mission that's worked on and actually fixed, everything is fixed, we're not going to have this DOC training again. But we can always go over the SOP and we can explain stuff to you guys and do the verbal stuff. Okay. Don't worry about it, Bella. Believe me, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. When you get in there, prioritize getting your patrol stuff done, and then come on over and work the prison, and I'll go over this stuff with you. Okay?
No problem.
It's not a real big deal, guys. I will sign off on you going through the training enough to where you get to where you're whitelisted. You've been listening in, and you've been asking very relevant questions about it. Everybody has. So, any other questions?
If there is another,
Thank you, Warden.
if there is another DOC training, you'll just put it on the forums again, right, sir?
Yeah, is that McCloyne?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll put it on the forum. The next one will probably be verbal because I want the mission fixed up and for us to be able to join and without these issues that we're having.
Roger that, sir.
Yeah.
Do you have your own little roster somewhere, or
for DOC?
I was about to ask that.
Yeah, like who's gotten training done and everything.
Yeah, just so we know.
Well,
because I got a training roster for the days, and I could modify it to include the DOC training and give you edit access so that you can.
Well, somebody was going to take a screenshot of who showed up earlier. I know a couple people have gone through this more than once. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take down names right now of the guys that are here. Hold on a second.
Could never learn
I
enough.
can hit you with that link and give you edit access, Warden, and then we'll be able to modify it for like DOC training day 1 or whatever, so that you're able to see who's done what training for even the other days as well, not just DOC.
I mean, right now I know that